And it looks like we are back, so we are bringing you the game 2 here of Fullerton versus Kingwood for the HS Star League Tournament. So, I'm Zirene, and once again I have some guy here with me. How you doing, Alex?
I'm alright. How about you?
I'm doing well. So,
Similar bands coming out for, I think it's the exact same first 4 bands coming out as the last game.
yeah, it looks like the exact same band's coming out, but this time we're actually going to have Kingwood on the blue side, and we're going to have Fullerton on the purple side. So, actually, because this is a best of 3, they are on their second match right now. The first match was taken decisively by Fullerton. They just went straight down that middle, 5-0 the other team, and it was a slaughter later on in the game. So
Yeah.
let's
That Lysandra and Kennen did really well together.
that-
Their AoE ultimates.
that double AP comp coming out. Looks like their final ban is that Lux.
Who plays Lux on the other team? I'm not sure, but that's an interesting ban. Never mind. Okay. So who do you think Swagger Badger is going to pick first?
Rise. Yeah, Rise. That's, yeah! Sorry, I got a message and I had to check it. So,
Are they going to
this-
they're taking Kennen? Are they going to take Kennen away from Fullerton?
okay, looks like everybody can see my chat as well, but looks like we're going to see a Kennen maybe coming out here. Swagger Badger was against a Kennen last match, and oh, he's going to pick maybe the Zed? So, it looks like this set of matches actually is going to be our last one until 9 p.m. because we're going to have a break in between these matches and the next one, unless these both go for an hour, and then at that point, I don't know what I'm going to do. If they go into a third round, I think we would end up watching the other matches instead and give that team some coverage as well. So, right now, though, we do have Swagger Badger picking up that Zed, and it looks like he's going to be against Kennen in the top lane again. Ooh. Excitedly's Kennen was really powerful. He didn't do very well in the lane, but he ended up being very present in team fights and having those ganks in his favor, so he ended up being very relevant.
We have Pont not getting Thresh. Dig picked him up this time. And we didn't see them. Did we see him do a lot with Thresh?
He wasn't as effective as he could have been because he was just so behind. He was landing some nice death sentences, but he's going in a little early because death sentence, when you land it on somebody, it tugs them twice closer to you, and it stuns them for that entire duration. So what he was doing was landing the death sentence and then immediately flying towards them, which is something that is a little iffy. You kind of want to get those 2 tugs towards you to better position them. It's very minuscule, but it helps. So they're taking that Thresh away from Pont and throwing it on their support. So Dig's going to have that, and he says, you know what, maybe I can play that a little better than you.
But Mr. Bean's picking Draven.
Ooh.
With the recent Draven change, how do you think he stacks up versus other ADs now?
I think that he stacks up well in the early game. Although he doesn't have good range, he does fall off very hard late game, though. Draven not as powerful as he could be late game, but if you get him snowballing, you get him ahead, he's very, very, very deadly because of that extra damage from his spinning axes, and his stand aside is very, very, very good. Along with his Blood Rush, I believe it's called, his W, something along those lines. But when he uses that, he's just such a great character, but he does fall off late game. That is his problem, is that he is not very relevant in team fights. He's easy to catch as well if he isn't catching his axes, and if the player isn't very well versed in catching the axes and having those extra mechanics on top of his mechanics. Heard you like mechanics. So they put some mechanics in your mechanics, so you have to catch axes while you play. So he really has to have another level of play introduced on top of that. And I really like the comp coming out for Fullerton on the are they blue? Yeah, Fullerton's. Wait. Oh no.
Fullerton's on purple now.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, wait.
What
Sorry.
did I do? What did I do? Fullerton's on purple side.
No, Fullerton's on blue. Fullerton. Oh no, just kidding.
No, Fullerton
God,
is on purple.
we're confusing ourselves again.
Fullerton is on purple. I messed up my notes because I'm doing 3 things at once. But Fullerton is on purple side right now, and No Stop Don't picking up that TF is going to help Nigga Please OP. I'm not Nigga Please OP, sorry. Excitedly will be in the top lane. Help him get ahead. And what Dig is going to want to do is land a death sentence, throw the Dark Passage behind him for Nigga, not Nigga Please, for Excitedly, and get the Kennen right into the middle of the fight right off the bat. I think that's going to be so scary for Fullerton.
I didn't think about that.
I mean, for Kingwood.
Oh, we have a Cassidy pick. This is going to be a fun mid lane because you have both very roamy assassin type. Well, not TF's not exactly assassin, but you have very roamy champions out mid. And Cassidy should beat TF in lane once he gets 6. Just because TF will have trouble answering Cassidy's damage and he just runs away every time.
Yeah, and Cassidy is just, if you can get a little ahead, his burst potential is huge. If he starts roaming bottom, he can get double kills and maybe a triple kill if the jungler follows, or if the middle lane, if No Stop Don't on the TF tries to follow him down there. Just the huge amount of mobility that Cassidy brings to the table is just something that he can't deal with. And it's going to be something he has to answer for. And the mobility of this team, the assassination of the team of Kingwood on the blue side. Sorry, Kingwood is on the left side of your screen. Fullerton is on the right side of your screen on the purple team. Kingwood on the blue. So Kingwood has the mobility assassins right now. They have Zed. They have Cassidy. They're looking to blow somebody up, but excitedly, ooh, gonna pick up that Zhonya's. Maybe not the best person to use Mark of Death on.
Right. I think Fullerton's best bet is to put Kennen versus Cassidy because Kennen can bully and very easily with his auto attacks and stun Cassidy. In early levels, Cassidy has a lot of trouble farming versus that, but I guess you could say the same thing about TF because he does have the wild card harass. Well, I mean the pick a card harass, where you pick your blue card, you throw that at the opposing laner and you get free harass off.
And the team of Fullerton actually hasn't changed much. They still picked up the Varus, they still picked up the Kennen and the Nasus. The only thing that's changed is their Twisted Fate and their Thresh pick. And I liked their team previously, but he didn't. No Stop Don't didn't go with the Lissandra pick once again. He did very well on it. So
why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't know if he thought that Swagger Badgers was going to play mid on that Zed. So maybe he was thinking, I don't want to play Lissandra versus Zed. I'm not sure. You know what? We'll pick his brain later maybe. But the other team, the team of Kingwood on the blue side, they have a lot of gap closers. They have a lot of distance closers and engagement here. But purple team, Fullerton, doesn't really have a lot of things that you want to engage onto unless you can catch the Varus in the back.
Right, or the TF. But TF will be in the back anyways, for the most part. Aside if he's trying to catch someone out with a pick a card, or the gold card.
Yeah, so, looks like the range on that isn't as great as you would want it to be, though. I mean, you play TF and it's pretty much your auto attack range, which I think isn't as beefy as you
would want.
Yeah, I mean, you always want more range. You always want more range. So we're gonna get into the game here very shortly. Is Kingwood versus Fullerton, game 2 of this best of 3. Fullerton took the first game very convincingly, and Fullerton is now going to be on the purple team, and Kingwood now on the blue team on the left side of your screen. So that first game was just really good CS from Kingwood, but they let the game crumble with the ganks and the dragon control that they just didn't have. So Fullerton ended up taking a lead there and just bringing it home. So what do you think we're going to see in this second game of this best of 3? Do you think we're going to see some adaptation, some level 1 invasions, or do you think we're just going to see standard play and more of the same?
I think we're going to maybe see level 1 invasion from Fullerton. They do have, I think, a strong level, well, a good catch level 1, but it's kind of hard to call, I guess, since even if they had Thresh last game, neither team invaded or tried to catch. I guess they're trying to avoid any messy kind of mess ups just in the early stages of the game. So they want to try and, I think, play it safe.
But if you're in Fullerton's head right now, they won that first game. They have a buffer. They could lose this game and still be in this tournament. So do you think they might be a little more risky in their level 1 and might actually go for an invade?
I don't think so. They don't really have the damage for it, I think. But that's just my opinion. What do you think?
I don't know. If they catch somebody out with a wild card and a death sentence, I think that person would be... If they catch one person, they'll be fine. They'll be able to take him out really quickly. But I think that the Draven damage might be a little much for them to handle if it ends up being a prolonged engage. And Voodoo taking Ghost on Jarvan.
What do you think about that? I know you're a jungler player yourself, so I think you usually take Flash on Jarvan, right?
Yeah, you typically take Flash on Jarvan. His cooldowns aren't low enough to warrant the taking of a Ghost. You take Ghost on people who don't really have stickiness and need it, and have low cooldowns that... Because Flash is like, oh, I'm going to burst you. Ghost is like, okay, I'm Vladimir, I'm going to run up alongside you and keep using my E and Q while I poke you down and then eventually kill you. So I don't really like that pickup, but it might be good if he can blow somebody's Flash, because Ghost has a lower cooldown than Flash. There's a little window where there's 40 seconds, the other person doesn't have their Flash up, and you have your Ghost up. So you can chase them down, and they don't have an escape, but you have an engagement tool or an escape. So that might work out in his favor, but typically Flash is preferred in the jungle. If somebody comes at you in the jungle, you can get over the wall. Jarvan does that already, but Flash just really helps him. He can also Flash Cataclysm, Standard Toss, like Demacian Standard, Dragon Strike. Like, he's got a lot of mobility as it is, so, you know, Voodoo, he's going to be all right with that. We're going to see how this treats him. Getting into this game 2 of this best of 3 between Kingwood in the bottom left and blue team, and in the top we have Fullerton on the purple team this time. Took that game 1, but let's see, maybe blue side is where it's at. Maybe blue side's going to win this game. Maybe it's because they're blue. So you have a quick pause coming out here at the start, and after that, if you look down, it's 2 seconds. I got to jump to live. So we are in this game right now, and let's line up all the champions too. So once again, this is the High School Star League's first tournament coming out here. You know, follow them on Twitter. Go check out their website. There's so much information below. But right now, don't do that right now. Stay here, watch this game, and tell us what you think about this, because this is going to be a good game. I can feel it.
Looks like no one's going to go for the level 1 invade. They're just guarding their buffs, and Kennen's just checking the Reddit area just to see if anyone's poking their noses down that lane.
And looks like Zed did pick up the red pot. Swagger Badger taking that red pot, trying to all in that Kennen. He has played against him once. He knows his play style, and he did have an advantage against him last time. So, you know, and while there's a little bit of pause in the action, once again, I'm Zirene, and I'm here with my co-caster.
Some guy won with 4-4,
and there's a flash!
NASA's flash.
So Doomed Thief pulling a Saint Vicious and flashing level 1 when there's nothing happening. The pause coming out, and I don't know what they're going to do. They might... I don't know.
Are they calling for a restart?
Are they calling for a restart?
Well, Doom Thief is, but I don't know why.
Because he flashed. Because he flashed. I believe there are some rules. I don't know if it's in the rules. I don't know if the rules were read. But typically, people can restart games within the first 5 minutes if First Blood hasn't come out. But I don't know what they're doing right now. Since I hide chat. So, just keep me informed on that, please.
Well, they're arguing whether or not to restart, I guess.
Well, you'd have to talk to a tournament admin about that.
But just kidding. Someone said, "Nah, we're good," so they're not going to start.
Okay. So it looks like we're just going to play through with this game right now. You know, Doom Thief is going to have that little bit of a disadvantage, not having Flash up for the next, I believe, 5 minutes. So I believe it's a 300-second cooldown. And we will double check that.
I guess.
Oh, he must have masteries then. I don't know.
Oh, just kidding. Maybe it is 300 seconds.
So looks like they're just going to do standard here. Nobody's going to invade on the other. There is a ward placed at the Wraiths. from Fullerton onto Kingswood. So once again, Kingswood on the blue side this time, and Fullerton on the purple side, the red side on your screen. So not to be confused from the last game. So this is the second round of this best of 2, and let's see what happens now. It looks like early gank coming up the top, but it is warded. Excitedly sees this coming from J4.
He's just farming. I guess trying to waste Jarvan's time.
And it's really, right now, it's a jungler decision. You have to think, okay, if you're Nasus, as Doom Thief, you're thinking, am I going to go top and do my red? Or should I go do his? Because he could have gone to J4's red right there. He saw Jarvan was top. He saw that Voodoo was top. So maybe he could have gone to J4's red and taken that from him. But he opted not to. He was already in transit to his own red. And the fact that he doesn't have flash means that he would have been caught if he had been... He would have been really caught if he had been caught. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Just makes the risk of the jungle invade that much higher.
Yeah, like I said, you want 0 risk when you're jungle invading. Like it's a risky situation, but with certain junglers, there really is 0 risk. Almost 0 to none. So, just standard CS play coming out right now. TF bringing some harass to the table. He is going to go harass Voodoo. No stop, don't coming in there. He's having some unanswered harassment. That's going to put J4 a little bit behind in the jungle. It does affect you. You only bring so many potions. And then if you do your red and you end up with 100 HP or 300 HP, you think, I have to back. I can't immediately gank someone.
And I think he is going to lose a lot of HP. And we have got a ping coming down from Nasus, I think, or Doom Thief, up onto the top lane. Looks like they're going to try and gank Swagger Badger. But Swagger Badger's just hiding in that river brush just to see if...
Yeah, he doesn't have any wards, but he does have the red pot, so he's looking for some aggression. And it looks like we're just having some standard CS play coming out here. No crazy behind the turret ganks or anything along those lines. But Pont did ward the Tribush with a pink ward, so that takes the vision away from Fullerton. And Kingwood, they're calling for this right now. The J4 is going to come down bottom, and I think he's going to go through that Tribush. They say, you know what, I pinked it, come down bottom. They don't have vision right now. But he had to back. Like I said, because of that damage that Twisted Fate had put on him earlier from No Stop Don't put on him at the Wraiths, he did about 200 damage to him with the pick a card and the wild card. So he did a lot of damage to him that was unanswered and meant that he had to be. And they have the pull coming out. Dig might reposition himself into a bad position actually because J4 is right there. They ping for him to come on in. Dig looking for this. And Voodoo's just going to walk straight up. They flash, but he does have the Dragon Strike onto the Demacian Standard. The Flay comes back, but he does have the Red Slow still. Mr. Bean is trying to get up in contact. They want that. But Mr. Beans actually gets too close. And the Hail of Arrows comes out and gets the kill, the counter kill actually. The Standard actually taking out Thresh there. Nigga Please OP trying to do the damage that he can. Meanwhile, there is a fight going on middle that I completely missed. But I think it's not going to matter. We're going to back it up about 30 seconds right now and show everybody exactly what happened right there. So we have Voodoo Llama hitting. Looks like he flashes up, pops the Ignite, is trying to run from Doom Thief, gets taken out there, tries to juke him, but he's not level 6 yet. And now Doom Thief just going to walk away with that kill as well. And now going to jump up to live. Nothing happened in the meantime. No kills were exchanged, but the kills are even and the gold is even as well.
Yeah, but I think with Cassidy getting first blood, it's going to start putting him ahead of TF, and this is going to be a bigger problem for TF. Because No Stop Don't hasn't been bullying or CSing as well as Cassidy.
Yeah, and that kill was on Cassidy.
He's falling behind in lane.
You're absolutely right. Cassidy got the kill. Twisted Fate didn't even get an assist on that one. But we have Nasus coming up top right now. Doomed Thief coming around. He is level 6. He is looking for that. He does put the Wither onto Swagger Badger. Swagger Badger does use the Living Shadow to get away, and it's going to be enough to actually disengage this. But yeah, if he wasn't Zed, he would have had to use some other escape ability or a flash to get away from that. And that's what I was saying earlier about Nasus really makes you blow your flash or your escape ability quite early. Swagger Badger wanting to check that bush. He does check it. He notices he's not there. Voodoo isn't level 6 yet. And isn't even close, so he can't actually just stay here and wait for 6. He's going to have to do something. And speaking of level 6s, Voodoo Llama is level 6, and No Stop Don't is not.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, up top, we have the Jarvan actually gonna standard toss while he's using Lightning Surge, and the ultimates are coming out here excitedly. Uses it, but he isn't gonna drop from that. So the Mark of Death came out as the Slicing Maelstrom came out, so he avoided about one tick of it, but ends up getting stunned. And Dig ends up getting a death sentence onto Mr. Beans, and Nigga Please lands the Chain of Corruption. Mr. Beans is very low, takes one hit, needs one more hit to die. The minion's gonna block him. No, they aren't. He gets straight through them, and that was a wonderful play, but he got very lucky there. The level 6 did come out for Nigga Please OP, but not for Mr. Beans or for his support Pont. So that was actually just a level situation there that had caused that, because the extra lockup from Nigga Please OP.
Yep. Mid lane, Cassidy just bullying, no stop, don't.
And he's bullying him so much that he's out of mana.
Yeah. But he's gonna get that back pretty easily. He popped the mana potion, and he has his the sustain from his W.
And it looks like he wants to get this blue buff handed off to him, and Voodoo is gonna toss it to him. Hopefully Voodoo splits the experience so he can almost hit level 6 for himself. So he's about halfway there. And Mr. Bean's actually already back in lane after having taken so much damage and almost getting poked out. So the Blood Rush actually doing a lot of work for him there. And nobody's picked up a dragon yet. Even across the board in kills, turrets, and in gold. Just all over.
Still even.
And once again, the pink ward coming down, the pink ward wars coming down on bottom. Pont picking that up for himself, putting the vision in the favor of Kingwood on blue team. So they're gonna, oh wow, Voodoo Llama actually getting engaged on here in middle. Doom Thief flashing in front of him. The wild cards does hit him with the tip. And Voodoo Llama's actually not afraid. He wants to stay here. And what do you think that's going to do for map pressure now? TF can fate Destiny anywhere without a lot of repercussion because how low Cassidy is.
Yeah, but the thing is, if Cassidy could still silence him if he tries to.
Oh, and the Chain of Corruption comes out, but it doesn't stop the Demacian Standard Dragon Strike. The Flay comes around as well. Dig doesn't have his flash up just yet. Pont flash Monsoons to actually disengage that. The Cleanse coming out from Mr. Bean to stop the Death Sentence stun, and it looked like Mid was trying to reposition himself for a Fate Destiny there, or Destiny Gate. Sorry, I keep calling it Fate. What?
Yeah, it's just Destiny.
Why did I keep calling it that? It's Destiny.
I don't know.
It's Destiny, and then the second part of it is Gate, I believe. I don't know.
It looks like
or Fate. I don't know.
Kingwood is going to get the first dragon of the game.
I actually don't know that. Okay, so I will actually have to educate myself tonight. So, looks like Kingwood, actually, you're right, going to pick up this first dragon of the game. They didn't pick up a single dragon last game. Mr. Bean needs to step it up, and he slays that dragon. So, looks like the first dragon actually going to go over to blue team Kingwood, so I guess blue is in charge of dragon both of these games.
No stop, don't just getting chunked down by Cassidy. I was surprised Cassidy picked up the Sorcerer's Shoes instead of trying to finish his
The Catalyst?
Yeah, the Catalysts, because it gives you that much more sustain in lane.
Doesn't look like it matters. He's doing so much damage to him,
Yep.
but he doesn't have any wards on the side, so he has no idea that Doomed Thief is actually here. So,
Well, I think as soon as Voodoo Llama sees Doom's Thief, he's just gonna blink. He's just gonna rift walk away.
and this
Because
this just alleviates so much pressure. If you're keeping TF at half HP, he's not gonna go anywhere. If you're poking him out of lane, he's just gonna go back and straight back to his lane. He's not gonna be going anywhere from that middle lane.
Yep.
And this is just such great play from Voodoo Llama. Great counter pick, too, and it's really making a difference here. And Pont gets the death sentence from Dig. Dig actually following that up. The stand aside doesn't actually land. Mr. Bean's dueling Nigga Please. And the shield coming out from the Dark Passage. The Blighted Quiver actually getting procced there. And the really late shield coming out. But it is going to be enough to stop this. And they are pinging it once again. There is a pink ward there, so they have no idea that Voodoo is here. Voodoo, level 6, has the Cataclysm available. But they say that Mr. Beans is too low. Just go back to what you were doing.
I agree with that sentiment there. Huh. TF picked up a Seeker's Arm Guard. That's...
I think he just really wants that Zonia's.
Yeah.
And it looks like Doom Thief hanging out top. But down bottom, we have J4 lingering in that bush. It is pink warded. Both of these are pink warded. Both tri-bushes on either side of the map are pink warded, really kind of drawing the jungle attention in those directions. Oh, and excitedly gets taken out very low. Deathmark is on him. It's not going to be enough to take him out. The Ignite is ticking, but he does have vision of him because of the Destiny, and it looks like he's going to go down bottom. Actually had the Chain of Corruption coming out into Voodoo. The Cataclysm is down. The box is down as well. Pont going to walk after that. The box isn't going to slow anybody, and Twisted Fate actually used his ultimate and went up top for actually nothing. He probably could have gone bottom and changed that around, but he was too far away to make that happen. The Voodoo Llama, if he can combo him right now, if he just waits, oh. No, he flashes the other direction. He did have Ignite ticking on him, was afraid of that extra damage coming out.
I think he's gonna kill No Stop Don't in a couple seconds, maybe? Maybe.
He's trying to back, trying to bait this, I think. So Jarvan is waiting there in the wings.
He took a wild card in the face, so he's probably just gonna recall. Or farm the
Oh, and Voodoo, is gonna walk. He's going to get walked straight into by No Stop Don't. The damage isn't going to be enough. The red buff is out, though. The Dragon Standard, the Demacian Standard Dragon Strike's actually going to get the flash out of Twisted Fate. So this is some great play coming out here. This is a good game, too.
Yeah. It's very close. Well, I think Kingwood has the advantage at the moment.
Yeah, they currently have an advantage because of that dragon that they had picked up. But it is even across the board. The CS not looking hugely different overall, but in the lanes, we do see that Varus has more CS. We have that see that Nasus is definitely farming better than Voodoo is, but Voodoo having the same amount of team presence, or I guess map pressure, that that Doom Thief has brought to the table. They both have been involved in 2 kills. Nasus picking up both of them, and J4 only picking up 1 kill and 1 assist. So we do have a pause. But yeah. Looks like that flash at the start really didn't doom him. So the game progressing pretty well for both teams. Nobody's made huge flubs. Nobody's really really made any extremely bad plays, but some good plays have been coming out as well. So the ganks and the pressures and the warding has been phenomenal. The pink ward wars have been happening, and that just creates a lot of pressure for your jungler to put on your lane. So,
yep. And we have Kassadin picking up a Negatron cloak, just trying to mitigate that damage that Kassadin's been doing to him. But it's gonna make his. It's not really gonna help his gank potential. No Stop Don't hasn't even picked up boots yet, and usually like for TF you want to be quick and fast just so you can run down lanes and get close enough for an ult.
I've actually seen a lot of Twisted Fates pick up the Twin Shadows.
Yeah.
Because it gives movement speed.
And because you slow people.
Yeah, exactly. So a gank is pretty much a guaranteed kill, even if they flash. So the junglers are actually going to kind of see each other here. They does see that Doom Thief is over there. So J4 Voodoo says, "Yo, whoa, I'm backing out of here." And Voodoo Llama says, "You know what? That's time for me to go up. I have blue buff. I'm just gonna keep poking you. No stop." And No Stop Don't is saying his name to him. No, stop! Don't! It's just stop it. But nope, Voodoo Llama not gonna stop. Very persistent. Very persistent. Llama. I don't know what a llama qualifies as. Is that just like a mammal?
Yeah.
Does it have like a family? Is it just a llama family?
I forget. But they're 4-legged.
That's all we need to know. And so looks like the CS for Fullerton is actually closing this gold gap. Oh, and Pont blowing the exhaust, even though nobody's really close to follow this up. But the lantern is there. Is he going to be able to click it? Nigga, please needs to click that lantern. He can't get to it. The Dark Passage doesn't go through. He's staggering over and over on it. The Chain of Corruption comes out late. Mr. Beans does cash in on that with his passive. Dig also gets caught in the Cataclysm, but kind of walks through it. The box is down. That's a double kill from Mr. Beans.
It's going to be a dragon.
And that's going to be a dragon in the favor of Kingwood. Once again, they do have the timer on it, so they see that coming out. Wow. Though he couldn't click the lantern. He just couldn't click it.
I think he just got close enough and then it expired.
Yeah, he was clicking on it. You could see him trying to get it, but Jarvan just being really fat and standing on it. And Voodoo Llama goes after No Stop Don't, even though he saw that Doom Thief was there, but he baited this. He knows the flash isn't up. He used it earlier. So he's going to go turn this around. The kill gets picked up on him for himself. Voodoo Llama trying to chase down Doom Thief, and they might turn this into a mid turret.
Yeah. This is really good trade for Kingwood. They got 3 kills and Dragon. That's a lot of global gold, and that made it increased it changed the even gold to about a 3 to 4k gold lead. 3.9k to be exact.
And they get their first turret of the game 17 minutes in for Kingwood, and this is what they really need. They had a pretty bad game 1 after about the 12-minute mark. Things started really falling apart after that pause, but this they're just keeping this momentum up, and they just need to keep pulling through with this as well if they want to see a game 3 for themselves. But once again, that top lane, excitedly, and Swagger Badger. Swagger Badger's really keen on turret diving. That's something that I've really noticed. Apparently, you can't tame his swagger. Even turrets can't do anything about it. He's just going to go straight after you. He hasn't really picked up any kills from it. In fact, it's actually bit him in the butt a couple times. He dives in, and he actually gets nothing of it and dies to the slicing Maelstrom stun. So, maybe not the best decisions coming out of him, but he's been putting pressure on, and it shows in the CS. He's 13 CS ahead, but the Zhonya is coming out for excitedly, so that's just going to spell horror for the entire team of Kingwood, because that Zhonya's, like we saw last game, really going to help excitedly deal the damage he wants to deal.
Looks like No Stop Don't's looking for a gank down bottom. They're trying to shut down the Draven, who's been getting quite a few kills.
Oh wow, and there are 4 people bottom right now, and they have not answered this yet. J4 is all the way at base, and Janna shields the turret, but it's not going to be enough. And they're just going to walk away from this. I don't know what they're going to do to follow this up. They might look at Dragon, but they're looking at Kassadin. They are looking to collapse on that Kassadin. Whereas Kingwood is actually saying, take that bottom turret, answer that bottom turret. And now they're saying, well, we need to defend mid with more than just one.
Well, it looks like Zed's going to get the top turret. Although they're sending Kennen back up.
And Zed is actually really good at taking turrets. He has his W, his Living Shadow, has a passive on it that gives you more AD based on a percentage of how much AD you already have. And the fact that he builds Blade of the Ruined King first gives him attack speed and some damage. So he's actually really quick at taking turrets too, because he hits them faster, alongside the amount of damage that he has on top of that. So he's actually a very good split pusher, because he has wave clear as well with his E and his Q, alongside the Living Shadow gives it even more damage when he doubles them up. So Zed actually has a lot of push potential, and he's slippery too. If you send somebody after him, he just Living Shadows away, and you didn't catch him. So he's very good at that. And it looks like we're going to have blue buffs handed off, but not really. No Stop Don't actually doesn't get that. It actually ends up on Doomed Thief because of that extra hit. I'm not sure what did that, but that's going to put No Stop Don't at a big disadvantage here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was looking at Kassadin as he was getting his blue buff, and I'm like, wait, what? He ended up with the blue.
Yeah, Voodoo Llama actually picking up his own buff and is now 2 levels ahead of No Stop Don't, and this is going to transition into a huge lead. He does have the Rod of Ages, which is ticking, giving him more. Swagger Badger looking here, sees, puts the ward down in the bush, wants to pick up the CS. He does take it from No Stop Don't, and they need to defend this red. They are collapsing on it. Swagger Badger sees excitedly there, doesn't want to ulti him, uses the Living Shadow to try and get away. But Voodoo Llama's there, does use the ultimate, does have the silence out. He can't zone as while he's silenced, and he gets taken out there. Wow. That's it. That's the power of that. What is that, 3-second silence from Kassadin?
Yeah, no, 2.6.
2.6? Really? Wow, that's a random number. All right, so No Stop Don't getting engaged on here. He doesn't have the mobility to get away from this. The Cataclysm coming on top. Voodoo Llama picks that up. The Whirling Death comes across multiple members. The box is down to try and start this disengage. Then Doom Thief popping his ultimate, trying to re-engage here. But Nigga Please OP already used his Chain of Corruption in the middle of that fight. And that is going to be a 1-for-2 exchange because Kennen was picked up earlier. So now they're going to push that top turret. Is that what you think? Or are they going to defend this?
I think try and go for the top turret. We got pings coming down, but it looks like they're recalling.
Voodoo Llama's just so beefy right now.
Yeah. Especially with, I think Voodoo Llama started with something like 50 magic resist at the start of the game, and especially with Cassidon's Paladin, which is Void Stone, you take 15% reduced magic damage. You take he takes a lot less damage than TF early. So he was actually, that's part of the reason why he got first blood. He was just bullying TF and still not taking damage from TF's wild cards.
Oh, and it looks like the timing is going to be a little off right now. Voodoo Llama is backing right now, while Dragon is coming up very shortly, I believe. So they're actually positioning themselves for Dragon, whereas Voodoo Llama has very low HP underneath this turret, which is looking to be under siege currently. So they're looking to push this down, and they don't have enough members here to defend it. Voodoo Llama trying to, but looks like Voodoo Ho is going to come help his Voodoo brother here. He does have the ultimate coming down on No Stop Don't from Zed. The pop's going to happen. Bubble pop. Swagger Badger gets that on No Stop Don't. Mark of Death is just so good, and Kennen excitedly pushing the top meanwhile, but Dragon is up now. So they might trade a Dragon for a top turret?
Or get a Dragon and a top turret?
I don't know, but Kennen has been pushing this entire time, so they might actually lose it. But Swagger Badger's going to go up there and answer for this.
Right, but he doesn't have his ult, and Kennen does have his ult, so if he decides to engage on excitedly, he could die. But
and excitedly has his own ult. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Oof. This is not a good situation to be in. Zed does a lot of his damage from that mark, which, because his other abilities, his E has a rather short cooldown, and his Q, but because he's energy based, oh wow, he used his Blade of the Ruined King just to get some HP back there instead of combining it with his Mark of Death. So it looks like, or Death Mark, sorry, his Death Mark, so that he is actually going to have a little less burst on his Death Mark until that Blade of the Ruined King is back up. Oh, looks like Nigga Please using the Chain of Corruption onto Mr. Beans, but Mr. Beans is out of range of the turret. He does have max stacks of the passive of the Blighted Quiver, but he gets the kill with the Whirling Death there. Wow, and I believe we actually saw both the barrier and the flash come out. Mr. Beans is going to get ganked here by No Stop Don't, and he actually comes in with a red card, not a yellow card onto Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean trying to turn this around, has the Janna shield, doing a lot of damage, but no, he gets taken out there. Kill actually goes over to Dig, but meanwhile, the jungler was coming down, Doom Thief, clashing with Voodoo Llama right now, and excitedly actually takes Swagger Badger out up top. The Mark of Death was back up, but he didn't have the Blade of the Ruined King this time. It was on about a 10-second longer cooldown before excitedly would have been able to, before Swagger Badger would have been able to use that on excitedly and maybe secure the kill.
Looks like Kennen's excitedly gonna get that turret, and that'll somewhat help lessen the gold lead that Kingwood had due to the dragon.
Yeah, and that they just picked up, what was that, their second dragon? Yeah, they picked up the second dragon really easily. Or was that their third?
I think it was the second one, because wasn't the first turret down at about 17 minutes, and then they went to dragon.
That sounds right.
After?
That sounds right. That was their second dragon. I have it marked right now. I just thought I didn't mark it again. So yeah, that is their second dragon of the game for Kingwood and the blue side, and they are doing a phenomenal job in this game too, not being demoralized by that game one. And maybe switching up some picks here from Fullerton wasn't the best idea. That Twisted Fate on No Stop Don't not having the same power and presence that his Lissandra was, because he's so shut down by Voodoo Llama's Cassidon.
Yeah.
And this is a tricky situation.
I really think they should have lane swapped and put Kennen versus Cassidon, but I don't know how TF does versus Zed, but maybe they could have done a triple lane swap.
That's true. TF doesn't do extremely well in 2v1 lanes because he lacks sustain, but their 2v1 lane isn't extremely scary. It's a Draven Janna, so if you just play passively under turret, you're not going to get dove. If they had something like a Thresh, I'd be really scared. But the Thresh is on his own team on Fullerton, so they could have actually spelt terror for the Zed on Swagger Badger.
Right. Looks like Fullerton's just going to siege this turret, but I don't think they're strong enough in team fights to actually fight out
And the Wither is
Fight.
down. I think this is when the little window they want. The Wither is down, so they actually want to go in on this afterwards. But no, they're going to give him enough time to have that come back up. And I said this was a tricky situation before. They are ahead in gold and dragons, but they're behind in turrets now. So
and with the lack of turrets, they're going to lack map control. And that's going to let Kingwood get their buffs. And we have TF dying to Cassid and Zed.
using that flash to try and get away, but it still isn't enough. He gets picked up over the wall, and it's warded there too, so those are some actually great wards being placed as well. And this gives them that freedom to pick up that top turret. That turret has been so low for so long. They really want that turret, so they're going to push that up, and Draven's going to free farm down bottom and catch up in CS to Draven. Janna's actually in the top lane as well, maybe providing some extra AD to Zed as he takes that turret. I'm not sure. Oh, wow. So yeah, because they are running a double AP comp, we do see the Runic Bulwark coming out now from Voodoo Ho-Oh, and we do see a Hex Drinker coming out for Swagger Badger. They want that magic resist. They want that survivability in team fights. I think that's a great pickup on their team. It's like seeing a completely different team than last time.
Yeah.
I guess that's the way some of the difference between maybe gold and silver players versus plat and diamond players is just the consistency can change so much between games.
Yeah, they're doing a really great job here, and they're really adapting their playstyle. The other game, I didn't think that Voodoo Llama was doing too well at all, and was really kind of throwing the game into No Stop Don't's hands, allowing him to roam, allowing him to even CS better than him, and just have more map control. But it's the complete reversal now. We see No Stop Don't behind in CS, behind in kills, and really getting bullied, not having an opportunity to roam himself. So Fullerton is getting to that point where they need to start making big plays. They need to catch people out. They need to ward really well, and Dig sees that. He's picked up that Oracles, and he's warding like crazy with Pinks.
Yep.
What are you laughing about?
No, I love you so much right now.
Why?
I don't know. I just love you, Alex.
Oh God.
So
we have Caston pick up an Hourglass. I think that's a very smart pick against a Cannon, and double AP. It lets you get in there, do some damage, dodge it, and then get out, and you might have your Caston's Rift Lock up by the time your Stacy's finishes, or it'll be very close to finishing.
it looks like the Dragon's up, and we're going to see a fight now coming out. There is Vision dominance, and the Oracle's on Dig, so that means that Fullerton is in the driver's seat right now, and excitedly is looking for that ultimate. Oh, wow, Zed actually Living Shadow didn't excitedly gets into the back line, gets disengaged by Ponce Janna, and the Cataclysm coming out on the other side, excitedly finally blowing his Zonias, and Swagger Badger trying to take somebody out here, and it looks like the kills are being answered here. We have a 4-for-1, and Voodoo isn't able to do anything. He's starting to run away from this fight. And the Destiny finally coming out. No Stop Don't taking a lot of damage. The Ignite comes down on him. The Silence as well. The final turret hit doesn't land, but is he going to get taken out? He does get taken out by the final tick of Ignite. And that ends up being a 3-for-4 exchange. No Dragon picked up, but that's in the favor of Fullerton. That's the team fight they were looking for.
If it was the Kennon's ult, Kennon and Thresh and the Nasus ult just did so much damage to Zed and them and Jarvan as well, who dived into all 5 members of Fullerton, and
Fullerton is blue. I mean, sorry, Fullerton is purple.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I goofed it again.
Kingwood is blue. So, yeah.
But
I just goofed it there telling it to you, so I told it to you right now the second time. But yeah, and it's really kind of funny because it looks like Kingwood is actually looking for these team fights when they shouldn't be. They have an assassin split push comp right now. Like, they really want they should have Swagger Badger split pushing a lane because nobody can duel him. Deathmark is so powerful that he can duel anybody, even if it's excitedly. He could duel him. If he blows his Zonias, you just Living Shadow away. If he pops his ultimate, then you're fine. He uses Blade of the Ruined King though, so that won't be up for another 60 seconds. But they really don't want these AoE skirmishes or AoE all-in fights. Excitedly's ultimate on Kennen, the Slicing Maelstrom, is just so devastating, so much damage. Then you have Nigaplease's Chain of Corruption on top of that, as well as the wild cards coming out the entire time, with the Spirit Fire as well, and the Fury of the Sands, the ultimate from Nasus, and the box slowing people. You really don't want to fight that. Whereas we have single target damage ultimates coming out for Kingwood. The Swagger Badger on that Zed has a single target burst. The Jonas disengage. We have J4's Cataclysm, which is actually just going to help the other team at this point. He's really going to lock himself up and separate himself from the team because they really need picks. They don't need these all in. They need to pick people off and then all in.
Yeah. I think they should really try and fight in more open spaces just so that they can avoid the trap, basically the box of death from Thresh and the Kennen ults.
And that was a really great play that was really set up by Dig. Dig had the oracles and the wards placed down so they Excitedly could wait in that bush. Excitedly was disengaged by Pont with the Monsoon, but he flashed back in to keep making use of his ultimate, and it looks like they're just gonna man mode this turret down bottom. They're gonna get that tier 2 turret because they saw that Kennen was top, so they're just gonna pick that one up and put that gold right in their back pocket and say, you know, we'll take that. And it looks like they're just moving as a 5-man squad right now, trying to pick up wards. Pont didn't actually walk into that bush, so he didn't see that ward. But ooh, we haven't seen a lot of Baron plays today at all. At all.
I think most of the teams are trying to avoid that just because maybe they're a little bit inexperienced, kind of trying to bait Barons, and they feel like they'd rather stay safe and avoid having to deal with like Baron dances.
And oh wow, Nigaplease getting chunked down to half HP because of Voodoo. Voodoo Llama doing a lot of damage there. If he does that one more time, it would be the death of Nigaplease. But they know that. Nigaplease playing a little safer now and backing himself up. Excitedly is seen by Swagger Badger with that ward, so little poke coming out. And they're looking for that 5v5 team fight again. And I don't approve. I personally don't approve. But, you know what? What do you think?
I'd agree. I don't think with the amount of single target damage that Kingwood has, they shouldn't try to do a direct team fight. They got to catch someone first.
Yeah,
maybe they should even have Chana flash in, split up the team, and then pick off anyone who gets knocked back.
Well, that'd be a really risky move, and Pont would have to be all down for dying.
Yeah, and he'd have to be really good with the timing.
Yeah, if he could get Excitedly away, which I think is the big key there, is he has to get Excitedly away from that fight. So, looks like we have Jana Pont backing, and ends up buying just some components for items. Doesn't actually complete anything for the most part. Actually does pick up the Merc Treads, which is a great pickup because he needs to not be stunned very long. And we have Boots of Mobility from both J4 and Zed against a team that has 2 stuns, a root, and 2 movement speed slows that are very, very big, the Box and the Wither. So I'm not sure about the Boots of Mobility pick. If they're looking for picks, they're doing it wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, at least Jarvan does have Spirit of the Ancient Golem, which does give him tenacity, like Merc Treads would.
Yeah, that is true, but if he had picked up something like the Swiftness Boots, reduces the effectiveness of the slows that are used on him, or if he had picked up, you know, you can still pick up the Merc Treads for the resistances. Tenacity doesn't stack, but the resistances are still a good pickup on them. But he's not using the Boots of Mobility to their fullest effect because this game is now in the mid game. It looks like it's a kind of an ineffective pickup for him. And the fact that he already gets movement speed from Jana's passive, I'm not quite sure about that pickup. And also the armor boots are always a good pickup. They're always a good pickup.
Right. I think at this point he should probably sell those boots and pick up something else.
But I don't know if that'll actually matter too much. He is working on picking up that Randuin, so I think he wants to get those first. And they see that Nigaplee's OP is bottom, so they are going to push this middle turret. Kingwood looking to get some more gold in their favor and some more map presence and pressure. But no, they don't see it. The dragon is up, so we might see another fight here. All these fights have been at dragon.
No, Pont
Is caught out here.
Flash.
Ooh, so we're not going to see that flash. Disengage Monsoon. They are fighting in a tight corner again, but there's a very good ultimate coming out and a very nice silence coming out as well. So Kennen gets taken out so quickly there. No Stop Don't is going to get taken out by Swagger Badger. Doom Thief flashes after him, and that's a double kill. Because the ADC was doing all that damage the entire time, Voodoo is trying to come after Doomed, but Nigaplee is going to be able to disengage as Mr. Beans flashes, gets the kill. That's his third kill right now, and is a second double kill. Not actually a quadra, an unofficial quadra though, and Pont blowing the Monsoon at the end. So wow, that was Voodoo Llama set up a great Kennen kill there. Kennen was just caught out excitedly too far in the front, ate everything from him, and you can't Zonias when you're silenced.
Yeah, I think that was probably the most important person to pick off, just because he has so much AoE presence.
Yeah, and TF is not really...
If you let Kennen get off his skills, you're just going to get stunned, and it's not going to be a great team fight for you.
And they pick up this bottom inhibitor turret, first inhibitor turret of the game, and they're doing a great job of keeping this pressure on. And they are now 8k gold ahead in this game 2 of this best of 3, which their opponents took from them last time. So they could even this series up 1-1 if Fullerton doesn't come with an answer to this. And Twisted Fate is still 0-7. Oh, and this dragon, it looks like Fullerton wants this dragon. J4 is still top for Kingwood, so it'll be an easy smite if they do start it.
And it looks like they're going to get it before anyone from Kingwood can respond to that.
And they just got some extra gold for themselves, made that a 7k gold difference instead of an 8k. So that's 2 dragons for both teams though. So dragons are even, the turrets aren't even, and the kills definitely aren't even right now. But all you need is one good team fight, 1-5-0, and you make that even better. So excitedly still has that oracles. It does persist through death now. So they could go for some Baron control right now. Their inhibitor is open down bottom, so they could possibly trade an inhibitor for Baron, but ew, you got to be wondering what's going through the shot caller's head right now. Now, what do you think we're going to see in these next few minutes?
I think Kingwood is going to look to shove down mid a little bit and then just transition to bot lane and try and take that inhibitor.
It looks like it would be the safest play for them. And once that inhibitor's down, you just have constant pressure. Oof. And if they get the bottom inhibitor too, the furthest one from Baron, it's the best one to take. They are standing on a ward.
Gosh. I almost thought Dig was going to engage onto the Jarvan there. And follow up down there.
And it looks like they're just going to push this lane out. Fullerton wanting to counter push this. They did get that dragon, so there are no more objectives on the map for them, aside from Baron and possibly pushing turrets, but they are behind. And J4 isn't there right now. J4 is actually farming Wraiths. The blue objective, the Wraiths. And speaking of people not with it, Nigaplee is going to go farm top. It looks like they're really focusing their CS onto Nigaplee, but on the inverse, Swagger Badger really has a lot of the CS for his team as well. So he could Mark of Death onto Varus and just really make that CS worth nothing if he takes him out immediately.
Right. Though Kennen has a sizable amount of CS too.
Yeah, and Kennen is really Voodoo Llama's job is to take out Kennen right now. Use that silence, lock him up, stop the Zonias, and just take him out. Because if he can time that perfectly, excitedly.
Oh no, excitedly.
Oh, he does get the ignite down. Oh, and the whirling death comes across, and he gets taken out there. Oh, no chance. Didn't even Zonia's there. Wow.
I think Kassadin's silence would have worn off by the time that.
Yeah, I think he thought he was. I believe he thought he was safe, and then he just decided. Oh wow, Pont gets hit by Dig with the death sentence. Voodoo Llama jumping back in to harass. Voodoo Llama is just doing so much for his team right now. just really setting these kills up, and they're going to set this turret up for destruction as well, but they do have a wave down bottom that needs to be taken care of, or else they're going to lose a tier 2 inhibitor, I mean tier 2 turret. Sorry.
But Kingwood is doing exactly what they need to do right now. They're just picking off people. They get caught out, and they just caught out Varus as well.
Oh, Nigga, please. Throwing down the Chain of Corruption, but it's not going to be enough. There's so much damage coming out. The Cataclysm is just icing on the cake. Just makes it so, you know what, you aren't running anywhere. And Voodoo Llama's just in a crater with him and just looking so beastly.
Mr. Beans has pretty much completed all of his major items. He's got Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and Phantom Dancer. All he needs now is defense.
Yeah, I believe he's actually ahead of the Varus. Even though the Varus is CSing better, he is 3k gold ahead because of the turrets in his favor.
They're actually about even with gold. I think Varus is slightly ahead by like 100 or less.
Where are you seeing this?
I think so. Oh shoot, sorry, that's Caston. Never mind, I misread that. Don't listen to what I just said.
Okay.
You're right, 3k gold again.
It's
Oh gosh.
no, that's fine. That's all right. I make mistakes all the time. Have you been listening to me all day? Have you been listening to me? I said that first game was a best of what? Oh no. I said it was a best of 3. Oh no, I said best
That
of 1.
wasn't your fault.
Still, I should have clarified it. I was asked to clarify. I didn't. But it doesn't matter. People make mistakes all the time, and people are forgiving. I don't think anybody's gonna hold that against you forever. Oh no, the 3k gold. Oh. So.
Kill me now.
We actually looks like we're just gonna have them picking up objectives right now, which just making themselves even more present for these team fights. J4 picking up that blue buff and taking it away from Fullerton, so they really want to put the siege on, but the farm is still up top. He still wants that farm. And Zed hasn't picked up his last whisper just yet. He decided to go for the Maw of Malmortis first with that pickaxe, so ends up picking that up instead of the last whisper. So, you know, I guess he's in a good place damage-wise, but oh wow. If they engage this, it would be a 4v5 middle in the favor of Fullerton, but Zed split pushing up top.
Well, he hasn't revealed himself yet, I think, so I don't think they know.
But they could always figure that out in just a second if he used Destiny, but he has revealed himself just now. Oh, and that was cool.
What happened?
I'm pretty sure that the null sphere, the silence from Cassidon, actually just followed Nigga Please all the way back to the base. So that was interesting. I didn't actually get to see it, but it looked cool. And it looks like the split push is happening now. We do have the wave up top for blue, but pushed all the way in. So Kingwood going to be able to profit off of that because they have it being answered by Nigga Please. Nigga Please picking up that CS and now coming back to the middle. So they didn't actually engage on that, but it's still... Go ahead.
I'm kind of surprised that they haven't tried to take the bottom inhibitor. It's been open for the past like 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it has been open for at least 10 minutes at this point.
And they've been trying to push onto a turret, and they could just possibly go down bot and take that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going through their heads, but you know, the dragon is up, and we might see another dragon fight coming out now. They are split. They know that Zed is bottom. They see him there, but they have no idea where the rest of the team is. They just see those people mid, and they're trying to push this middle wave out so that they can maybe contest dragon. And they're just backing up, I guess. They're just playing so afraid right now, and they're waiting for Kingwood to make a mistake. That's what Fullerton's doing. They're waiting for them to make a mistake. But if you give them this much rain over the map, they're just going to take objectives. They're just going to take the dragon, and they're not even going to team fight you until they're so far ahead that it doesn't matter. But the Baron buff did, the Baron ward did expire, And the Twin Shadows actually coming out, slowing him. Oh, but we do get a nice hook from Dig onto Punt. Is he going to use the box? He uses the box. He flashes out of it excitedly. Does get disengaged. Uses the Zonias and his Slicing Maelstrom to try and zone them off of his team. Swagger Badger trying to get to the back line onto Nigga Please OP. And he actually gets popped while he's in his GA. And excitedly going to get taken out now. And that is, once again, a 5-for-0 exchange, even though it looked like a great engagement.
The surrenders come out. Something about that last fight was that Kennen tried to go in. Janna ulted him away from Draven, and Draven flashed back, so Kennen did not do as much damage to Draven, and Draven was still alive, while Kassadin and Jarvan were in the back, actually still out of Kennen's ult, so Kennen didn't get a very effective ult on that fight, and that may have been the reason why they lost that fight, and with Varus forced out of the fight due to several people on him that fight.
Yeah, and that was a great victory for Kingwood, evening up the series 1-1 in this best of 3. So we're going to have another game coming out here, I believe, between these two teams. So